Today on the workbench, I have a brass steam locomotive. This is a 484 Pro Custom Hobbies. It's a Western Maryland 484 Class J. Now, the problem with this is the motor is not engaging the gears. Now, I don't know if I can kind of demonstrate this real quick or not, but well, when it's sitting on all 8 wheels or all 8 drivers, I can turn that or push it there. See, I shouldn't be able to do that. So we're going to take this apart and troubleshoot it and see what we can find out. And then, after we get that problem fixed, we are going to install a decoder in this locomotive. And we'll probably, thinking about going with the Soundtrax. I've had good luck with the Soundtrax decoders. So, especially the steam, because I had that other steam, I forget what it was. The other brass one that I did, but it had a tsunami decoder and it sounded really good. So let's get this thing apart and we'll see what we can find here. And hopefully this will be a quick and easy fix. I'll pull these screws out of the bottom here. Let's see what we have. Now, these steam locomotives, the less you do to them, the better off you are. Because they can get out a quarter, anything. Several things that can go wrong with these. Let me pull the cover off of this. So, right now I have to assume, I hate to assume, see if I can't see back in there. That's solid. So I guess I'm going to have to pull the boiler off. I can look down, and I know you can't see this, but I can look down in here in between this rear pilot and I can see the motor and the shaft. And this has one of the flexible couplings. It's like a little piece of hose. I know that's not what it is, but it's just a little coupling there. And it looks to me like that it is maybe the angle is too steep, it looks like. So I need to pull. Yeah, we're going to have to pull the cab and the boiler off. So well, that's interesting. Okay. Let me, I want to get that back up there. Yep. I am in my own way here. Pull that screw out of there real quick. And I don't know if you saw that or not, but that whole assembly dropped to the bottom. So, and I'm using my screwdriver that I need. But I have to get this back on so I can pull it apart. Without taking all the wheels and everything off. So there's that one. Now I need, for some reason, well, I know what it is. Okay. At least I have that in there. Let me get this back on. And this will allow me to flip this over. I think these are stainless. Yeah, that's a stainless screw. Well, come on. I don't want to screw that all the way down because I want to get this one on this other side. Okay. There's that. I'm going to flip this over and we'll pull the, let's see, probably have to, I'll pull this screw off, yeah, right here, and that will, that should go right into the boiler. And I was incorrect. So let's drop that back in there. Okay, let me turn this over so we can look at it. You can hear the motor in there bouncing around. So I've got two screws back here on the back of the cab to pull off. That might be the weight. No, that's that motor. Okay, let's pull these. Another screwdriver here. Helps to have a good amount of, a nice selection of screwdrivers to choose from. We don't round the heads of these screws off. So there's that. Okay, that'll separate that. I am going to take this front pilot truck off again. Just because I want a better look at that. There we go. I knew that would come out. Okay. All right, now, yeah, that separated our let me put my put this back in here. And this will give us a flat place to work on. I may have to Now I've got a piece of piping or something over here on this side. Yep. Okay. I have to separate these two pieces of brass from this side's already loose. What do we got here? Now it's loose at the top. Let me see. Maybe I can pull the hole. Nope. These things have so much detail on them, and that is on there. I still can't get to that the way I want to. I'm going to have to touch this up, I think. The front of the boiler's coming off. And this is the piece that I need off. Yep. this. Go. Okay, now the only thing that's holding us is our wires for the light. You can see right here. Now let me pull this over in the frame a little bit. See how that angle is on that? For some reason, that motor is loose. So now that we have the boiler off, we unplug that. There, we can set that out of the way. How that got in that condition, I do not know. So now I'll flip this back over, take this back off. Actually, put that in there. Now I'm going to take the bottom of this back off again. Okay. For some reason, that is not engaging. We'll put this other screw back in just for a minute. I want to test something. It'll engage to go forward. Okay, let's pull that whole assembly back off. Why it only engages forward, I am unsure of. There, it's sitting down all the way, sitting down all the way. Now if I can Okay, that's better. If I can hold that and get these screws back in. One more. Yep. Tiny screws. I don't know if you can see what I'm fooling with there or not. I'm trying to keep this in frame, but I'm trying to get this screw back in this hole. Keep the cover straight all at the same time. Keeps moving on me. And there, I just dropped it. I was just getting ready to say, you should always have a good supply of screws laying around for these. And the thing is, it's that screw has lodged itself down in between the wheel maybe I can get my screwdriver in there. I'm trying to do it over top of my cradle so that when it does fall, I wish you could see where that's at, but I can't put that on camera. Actually, you can see it right there in the wheel. fell. Okay. Let's try again. Delicate. Let me loosen this one a little bit. Maybe I can move this plate around a little bit. And there, I dropped it right back down in there. Well, that's becoming a royal pain. Straighten that back out again, the brass bushing, or brass. So there's that. And you can see it back in that wheel again. Okay, there's it is again. Okay. There we go. And I have found that some of these small screws like this, I forget what size they are, 0.80 maybe? You can get if you get a kit for your eyeglasses, sometimes where your earpiece meets the glass frame are 0.80s. So, okay, now that we got that fixed, or back on right, and engaged, now our shaft is in alignment. And I don't want to flip that over and try it yet, because if I do, I'll lose everything. So I want to put this plate back on. And I believe I have lost a spring. These trucks have springs in them. I think we're good there. plate cover back on. I like these brass locomotives, but boy, they can be a pain to fool with. So it turns out the major problem with this was that cover was not pulling the gearbox all the way tight against the gear on the shaft. So that's what the trouble was. So now that works. Let's see. Let me put this back in here. Set that up on there. And we'll take our boiler. My weight is sliding out. Now I need to slide it out so I can see where the hole is. That's the weight that sits in the boiler. And what it does, how that attaches, is through that front pilot truck. And then it just bolts down right on over top of that front pilot. So now the trick is, after we hook our lights back up, I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to hook the power up to this, make sure I get those leads in right, and I'll make sure that it's running before I. So let's see. Let's see, what am I looking for? I'm looking for a set of leads. And I'll have to get my other transformer. There's the leads I want. That's not the leads that I want. And that's not them either. Alright, let me pause you here for a second. Okay, I'm back here. I've got a little DC transformer, and I've got it hooked right up directly to the motor. Let me see if I can zoom in on this a little bit. And I'll pull it out here. Hope my leads aren't very long. So you can see I've got that directly connected to the motor. Now we'll pull it back out here. And that's still in frame. So okay. There is our forward motion. Okay, there's that. That's forward. There's reverse. Now I want to make sure that my lights are working. Put that over there. I just lost the wires. May have to. I've got plenty of room here. There's one. Why won't that? For some reason it doesn't want to. Must not have it in there all the way. Well, it is working. Okay. These just aren't real. It's not a very good connection. But anyway, all right. Now let me. Okay. My light is working. And we've got forward and reverse motion. Let me take and zoom back out here. So the whole problem was just the gears were not engaging in the gearbox. And it was at an awkward angle. So, I think this will be a good candidate for a decoder. We'll have plenty of room in our tender. And it should be a good install. So, I want to put this back together. And then we'll put it up on the test track with the stands. That way you can see this thing completed before I take it apart to do the DCC install. So, to get our weight back in, and that'll, let's see, what would be a good way to do this? I'm going to take this, well, that's not going to, try this for a second. That's a two-piece screw that holds that pilot on. So we'll pull that off. Was hoping that would slide through the hole, but it won't. Okay, back to the drawing board. Get that up in there. I That'll slide in. Kind of use the screw there to help me slide it in part way. Now I'll get a little screwdriver, and there I've already got it twisted. So let's see. I've got to get it lined up. And this is a process in itself. So what I want to do, mark that. So that I know I'm kind of close. So right there, what did I do with the screw is right here. Well, that looked like it was lined up. Okay, there I have the screw. Now I just got to flip this over and get it back in there. Need to pull that boiler front off of there. And actually, that is not the screw that holds that thing in there. My front pilot is up here, so that just needs a regular screw put in it. So I'll have to find a screw for that. Alright, let me pause you here and I'll find another screw. Alright, it took a little finagling, but I did get another screw in there and the weight back in. So now I had to pull the front off. Let's flip this back around and we'll have some paint to touch up, but that's par for the course with these. So pull that out. Then we've got our two little brass screws that go here in the back. them started with the pliers. So there's that. Okay, now we can put our front pilot back on, and I believe we had, let's see if you can so we have that little brass washer, and then there's a spring that goes on. We'll pull that back apart. That way all this will be held together. Oh, wait a minute. Should be spring. Being a dummy here, trying to do everything the hard way. Put that on there, that on there. Actually, that doesn't go on there like that. Then our spring. Then that. Well, nope, I am wrong. And then pull that back out again. Good thing that's a two-piece screw. Okay. Now, there's that. There's our spring. There's our washer. And then our pilot truck. And that's a stainless steel screw. So that's tight. Okay. So now we got a little bit of piping to fix. We'll have to this is all brass wire. So let me get some of this stuff out of the way here. So that'll have to be fastened back on. But for now, we have our locomotive back together. I'm going to put it on the test track here, get my stands out, and we'll set this on here. Because like I say, I am going to put DCC in this. So I'm sure there'll be, with a lot of these little parts, I'm sure we'll have some more to deal with. Now let's see. I'll have to move this forward. There's for the tender. Oh, it's for the front trucks. Move that forward some. I'll pause this. Okay, I've got it all back together and sitting on the test stand. So let's show you what we have here. And that's reverse. So there we go. That's on DC. So now we'll get our decoder and we'll switch that over to DCC. And the wheels need cleaned on it, but it does run pretty well. So, all right, that's the end of this video. Thanks for watching.